What's up, family? Welcome back to another legendary reaction video. With no further ado, let's go.
As I'm sure you guys are aware, Michael Jordan this week kind of had a massive scandal and controversy. As according to a Yahoo Sports reporter, that being Tom Haberstroh, Jordan 88, and won the Defensive Player of the Year, had his stats inflated and juiced by the home scorekeepers. Now, when it comes to Haberstroh's article, it's lengthy.
Now let's pay attention, family. As we remember, check out my last reaction video. He said for the home game scorekeepers.
Has anecdotes, stats, graphics, really has all the works. But the big time major flaw in this article is that Haberstroh's sample size for Jordan having his stats juiced. It's 6 home games out of 41. So roughly 15% of Jordan's home games that season. But even fishier than that, the 6 games Haberstroh chose, they're not on YouTube, the internet. How he found these games, allegedly, was from some guy in Latvia who has them on VHS. Now that raised some red flags, because on YouTube right now you can look up.
That is true, because why try to get some information, let alone footage, where only you can see and other people can't see it? Why are you trying to hide it from the public eye view? But then you over here trying to paint this debunking narrative like LeBron James been chasing a ghost after all. When in reality is Jordan is the GOAT at what he did in his era, and you can't take that away from him. And he has shown that he's a complete overall player, which he strived to do so. And then on top of it, if you're gonna do the stats, make sure you do it from both ends of the floor, or both ends of the table, from home and away games, because most of the time Jordan was away at away games, and they were back to back, especially back then in the old basketball era, which was very it took a toll on a lot of players playing night after night, 3 games back to back, let alone the only time he got a day of rest was when he did play in his home games. So let's go.
Up full-length games from the 88 season. So why did Tom Haberstroh seek out this unknown mystery figure for 6 games that aren't online? If you ask me why he did that, was to provide cover if anyone questioned these games or the stats. Because of course, nobody has access to these games on YouTube or the internet. It's only via VHS from some guy in Latvia. And my biggest problem with that 6-game sample size, he's taken those 6 games and applying it to the entire 88 season and really Jordan's entire career. As looking at one of his own,
and that's where I feel like the disrespect sinks in. You're not gonna let alone take some footage. You're not gonna let on have a perspective for some footage that everybody doesn't have access to. You want to gatekeep it, or for whatever reason that may be, obviously, so nobody can question what you're saying, because they don't have the same access of information that you have. And then you selectively picked that information to then try to debunk a whole player's career, let alone is it disrespectful, and let alone not let it be disrespectful to the impact that Jordan gave to the game of basketball.
Graphics, home steals versus away steals. The years with the biggest discrepancy in home versus away: number 1, 88, number 2, 93, and number 3, 97. Now, looking at 88 and 93, unfortunately the data for those games, we don't have play-by-play or official NBA stat keeping. Now, the one year we do have that for is 1997. And seeing that big gap of 133%, if Jordan's stats were actually juiced at home, the 97 season the game film should prove that pretty thoroughly.
Facts.
So, cutting the chase right here, looking at the 97 season, how we're going to do this? We're going to look at only home games and games when Jordan had 2 or more steals. And we're going to verify these numbers 3 different ways. First off, the official stat sheet. Secondly, the play-by-play. And last but not least, the actual game film, something for the Yahoo Sports article that was not present. Now, our first game we have out of the 7 is from 1997 versus the Knicks on January 21st. Jordan, this game, had 2 steals. The first one with 1:04 in the 3rd quarter, and the second one in the 4th quarter at 1:34.
The Bulls double team Patrick Ewing, so they're good guys who can get threes. The problem is you got to throw it in the post.
After Chris Childs, 10 on the shot clock.
Cookies ripped it straight out of dude's hand, like made it look effortless too. He said, "Get out of here, bro. You wasn't doing nothing with that."
So looking at the tape right there, the steals, they check out and they're accurate. Now the next game, the NBA Finals 1997 versus the Jazz. Jordan once again had 2 steals. The first one in the second quarter at 1:36, and the second one in the fourth quarter with 32 seconds left.
The rules, but Harper really starting to lay some lumber on Stockton.
And I like how he's demonstrating, but let alone showing and debunking this false narrative, but also showing the games at home and actually finding the clips and actually citing his sources here and letting us know. Man, amazing video, man. Very informative. Straight to the chase.
Our third game, March 7th, 97, versus the Pacers, where Jordan yet again had 2 steals. The first one in the first quarter at 1:17, and the second one in the second quarter at 9:44.
Looking across, and MJ was right
Cookie.
in for them.
Jordan got a long wingspan.
Looking at our fourth game, once again versus the Jazz, this time January 6th of 97. Jordan's first steal on record at 2:20 in the first quarter. His second steal, 5:23 of the second quarter. And his last steal in the fourth quarter at the 10:27 mark.
27.
On the angle right, back to Russell, cut the alley, ball not free, picked up a loose attack. On down, court Stockton, trailer to Hornacek.
Yeah, look at my man Stockton. Shout out to one of the best point guards in the game of basketball, John Stockton.
He throws it away. Line Keith, drive off right side, taken away by Michael Jordan.
Looking at our fifth game, 97 versus the Bullets, game 2 of the first round. Jordan's first steal in the fourth quarter at the 8:46 mark. His second steal also in the fourth quarter at the 4:19 mark.
Kerr on the perimeter, and let Jordan work on Cheney.
Now Jordan back defending Strickland. Shot clock at 6.
Yo, that legendary Jordan swipe right there. It's like you don't even see it coming.
Our next game, the East Finals.
And if you Pete family, all his swipes when he do get the steals, they either be mid-air or they be down low in the post.
Game 2 versus the Heat on May 22nd. Jordan this game had 4 steals. The first one, 9:06 in the second quarter. The second one, 7:35 in the third quarter. And the last 2 in the fourth quarter at 11:34 and 3:57.
Ashburn wants to take Tony, but they try back door. Mike picks it out. Marley, a long three, way off.
Look at them swipes, bro. Get that out
And
of
our
here.
final game we have in the season, game 1 of the East semis versus the Hawks on May 6th. And this game actually isn't on YouTube, it's on the Internet Archive. But Jordan in this
Wow.
matchup
Look how sus and slimy that is, bro. Internet Archive, though.
had 4 steals on the stat sheet, 3 of which came in the third quarter. The first one, the 8:34 mark, second one, 8:11 mark, and the last one, the 33-second mark. Now, Jordan's last steal in the fourth quarter, the 11:19 mark. And again, all 4 of those stats check out when looking at the game film.
Landed beside those two, right? Right, because Hancock's not really a perimeter player. He can get attack the basket.
So that right there is a 7-game sample size of Michael Jordan steals at home during the finals, playoffs, and regular season. In those 7 games total, Michael Jordan had 19 steals. And only one of them really, I would say, was a questionable steal. As looking at this clip, Scottie Pippen deflects the ball in my view, but Michael Jordan gets credit for the steal. That is the only one out of the 19 I would say was pretty iffy. So with that one questionable steal, is that kind of evidence that Michael Jordan had his stats juiced or highly inflated? Looking at the games, the stats,
The game and the stats speak for itself, clearly. You can't make that up.
don't see it. And it's
Thank
not
you.
some grand conspiracy to prop up Jordan as some larger-than-life figure. Because Jordan on his own, without quote-unquote inflated stats, was already a great player, and in my view, the greatest player in NBA history. And if you're going to take 6 games from Tom Haberstroh as somehow proof Jordan stats they were juiced, I mean, go ahead and do so. But until I have actual concrete proof Jordan stats were inflated, not some guys' word they were inflated, then I'll buy it. And when doing research for this video, I kind of went in depth with the stats, how they're tracked in the NBA's official rulebook for steals as well as assists. And a lot of these stats, I mean, they are pretty subjective. And the way the NBA records assists nowadays, it is beyond loose. If a guy passes the ball to a player at the 3-point line, they immediately make a move, a dribble, a couple of steps, get a layup. That is a quote-unquote assist in the modern era.
The scoring player receives the ball beyond the three-point line, and he immediately drives to the basket and scores the layup upon receipt of the pass. An assist is credited to number 36 in the green uniform.
And I was just kind of curious. I looked up every LeBron assist, a very basic search. And this video I found was LeBron James 2020 NBA assist leader. I got 3 minutes and 4 seconds into it, and I already found 2 very questionable assists that he got credit for.
And LeBron is already working on a double-double. He has 8 rebounds to go along with those 23 points.
10 stays about where it's at. James to Caruso. Caruso drives, finger roll.
If you want to talk the subjective nature of assists or steals, I would say assists nowadays are way, way fishier. And like Haberstroh did with Jordan, to build some kind of narrative that stats are inflated for certain players, I could do the exact same thing.
I get what he's saying, and I want to know how you guys feel. He's basically saying, you over here want to inflate and disrespect Michael Jordan's career, saying that his stats is juiced up. But look how loose the NBA has been on the ruling of assist and other things subjectively. Like let's look at it in full context, because stats requires points per game, rebounds, steals, assists. You know what I'm saying? And my question to you guys, family, is now that the NBA is way looser with, say, for example, like he mentioned, assists, right? Do you feel like for the modern NBA and today's NBA, if he want to say that Michael Jordan's stats is juiced, can we really say that today's NBA is juiced? Technically? Or even more juiced? If he want to say that, hypothetically, we go with what the Yahoo Sports narrator said. I forgot his name. But the narrative that Michael Jordan stats was juiced, can you guys say that hypothetically then today's era the stats are even more juiced? Because if I can recall, I'm gonna do a little bit of research right here. Old NBA rule for assists. The NBA originally defined an assist as the only pass directly before a score. This meant that no more than one assist could be recorded per field goal. Okay. Okay, let's continue. So, because my question also, family, I want to know is, what was the assist rule back then versus the assist rule he mentioned now in today's NBA? Because I'm looking on Reddit right now, and it says there hasn't been an official change in the way assists are recorded, but there's a couple factors to keep in mind. There's more scrutiny on assist numbers than 10 plus years ago. In the internet age, there's more eyes on the game ever before, and that includes NBA reviewing game footage. You'll see the NBA correct stats occasionally. Okay. An assist is crediting a player tossing a last pass leading directly to a made field goal. And I can understand why he said that, because let's look for the demonstration he used with LeBron, right? You know, obviously you look at assists like fast transition points. LeBron dish it out, they go right for the little layup. You know, catch and shoot, assist. You know, stuff like that. That's how I used to look at it, as from an assist standpoint. You know, But nowadays, guys be taking a whole couple dribbles and then driving, busting their moves, then driving to the basket, and that's considered assists. So if it's so loosely looked at it to like today, in the old NBA, assist was definitely more so catch and shoot, pass and transition. Because back then in the old NBA, everybody had the ball. And if the ball was moving, everybody touched the ball. So eventually the assist became more clear. But nowadays, I feel like everybody's looking for participation points to look in the score, that they'll do a dance and doing all this dancing and all that ballerina dancing with the ball. And then all of a sudden, they get the ball dished to them. They're doing all this dance and then they shoot, and it's considered assists. So where is the fine line? I read the definition. I gave you guys a perspective off of Reddit. There hasn't really been no change, but you can see how loose things are now. And I feel like back then in old NBA time, things were very much earned and very strict enforced. Well, enforced stricting or enforce stricted. If that's a problem. No, that's not a problem. That don't sound right, family. The enforcement was a very strict enforcement, put it like that. So, I don't know, man. I just feel like it's disrespectful. I feel like the reporter definitely owed an apology.
With LeBron James. As looking at LeBron's early career, just like Jordan's, here's a narrative I could build. LeBron 06 was in his third season, finished second in the MVP. 07 finished fifth, and then made the finals. So coming to 08 LeBron, he was pissed. He wanted the MVP in respect as the best player in the NBA. And the Cavaliers scorekeepers, seeing that frustration, gave LeBron James a little bit of help. As looking at his home numbers versus road numbers, assists and turnovers, there's a pretty big gap and discrepancy.
I guarantee you LeBron home numbers is way better than away.
As at home, nearly 8 assists, only 3.3 turnovers, a gap of 4.6. Now on the road, 6.4 assists, but 3.5 turnovers, a gap of 2.9. That right there is a pretty big discrepancy.
Yeah.
Now, looking at LeBron's two MVPs, 09 and 2010.
That's the case, then you can say that LeBron's stats was juiced up. And all the other pioneers' stats was juiced up. You know what I'm saying? But you're always going to play better at home than away. It's always like that. You at hometown, you get your rest, traveling.
2009, assists at home versus the road, had 13 more at home. But compared to the road, 31 less turnovers. Now, 2010, the exact same thing. At home, 43 more assists, but 23 less turnovers compared to on the road. My overall point of this comparison isn't to knock LeBron James or discredit him like Tim McMahon with Michael Jordan. My overall goal is to show you guys you can find wonky stats and disparities for really any player. If you want to create some conspiracy agenda, you can do it fairly easily. So that right there is the end of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.
Now, family, comment down below. Do you feel like you can basically create any wonky experience? You can create any wonky theory and any hypothetical, or is it fairly easy
fairly easily.
Is it fairly easy to create a conspiracy agenda for any player in the NBA? Comment down below, family. I'm curious. I believe so because they try to keep a lot of eyes on the game to bookkeep and keep the records and keep the stats. And like I told you, occasionally they got to go in and correct the stats. But that's why they have filmmaking and stuff like that, and over review things and stuff like that. But I just felt like I don't know what was this individual. I feel like this was just a hater that just wanted to create a narrative. And Jordan ain't been in the game in how long, bro? Like, why all of a sudden? I don't get it. I just don't get what was the whole overall, what was the end goal of this? Because it just don't make no sense. The stats spoke for itself. Jordan work spoke for itself. Obviously, you want to gatekeep certain videos that people didn't have access to see, so you can come up with a narrative and create this conspiracy. But at the end of the day, it can be a conspiracy about LeBron. It could be a conspiracy about. It could be a conspiracy about any other players, even the players that became before Jordan and LeBron and stuff like that. So it is what it is. The facts are the facts. I just feel like they were just being a hater, bro. Apparently, you know, you gotta let a hater be a hater. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let the love supersede the hate. Until next time, family. Peace.